I'm actually doing some work at the moment.
Oh.
Trying to multitask as best as I can.
Alright.
Greetings, my friends. Anything you like? Cheers.
Um. Guys, let me know how the stream looks. I'm also in the Mumble server that's been talked about on IRC.
Hello.
Hey there.
And it helps if I have my mic near.
Well, hey, hello. That cheery noise was the sound of the community manager arriving into Mumble. Melda, say hi to my live stream.
Oh, hello, live stream.
Although it might only be me watching, but hey, you said hi anyway. Should rejoin the live stream channel.
We can go in there, but we will be suppressed until somebody makes us unsuppressed.
Derek invited everyone into it, so I'm not sure if... I don't know. It's getting late, I'm quite tired.
Yeah, I'm trying to be as quiet as I can without waking up everybody in the house.
They said in IRC, yes, we should all...
I think I'm on the wrong Twitch channel.
Oh yeah, we're on MMORPG at Comms stream.
Tiffany is me, by the way.
Cool, I'll make her say hi.
Okay.
You can't do that. It's gonna make me laugh.
Sorry.
So things are going to get lively. We're in a bigger Mumble server. Hopefully that means we can
Hey Amy.
get some action.
Hi.
For you guys that are muted, all the players, we're going to probably unmute you guys at some point, and we'll do kind of like an informal chat. You guys can ask some questions directly on the stream. But for now, we're going to keep you guys muted. We're going to introduce everyone, talk a little bit about the history of the team, and then we'll get into the Q&A.
I hope you heard that. That should be good.
I'm going to have the game music playing, but very low.
I've just got the birds playing. Don't know if you can hear that.
Okay, but just so you know, Dusty is live streaming at this moment.
Cool. So he can hear what we're saying on his stream?
Yep. He's just not able to talk.
Gotcha. All right, well, we're live on stream. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Shards Online Preview Weekend Developer Q&A. Let me get the stream situated here. 1 second. There we go. There's the game. So all this weekend, we've been allowing players to come into the game. You can download and play for free. It's a 200 meg download. There's no CD key. There's no installer. Just download and play. And the purpose for this weekend is to generate awareness for the game and for our Kickstarter campaign. So definitely check out our Kickstarter page. It gives you all the details about the full game and what we'll have at release. What you're seeing here is just kind of a sneak peek. We've been in development for about 8 months, and so this is very, very early stage of development. It's pre-alpha, but it's even pre-alpha. But we figured we'd give everybody a chance to check it out, have a blast with it. So without further ado, let's get started here.
So you heard.
I'm going to run down the chat, just have people introduce themselves, talk a little bit about themselves. We have Adita, aka Chrissy, here. You guys know her. She's been talking all weekend.
I'm surprised they aren't sick of me already.
We wouldn't be like that.
I won't say anything.
Okay. Chrissy, also known as Adita. I was a community manager on Ultima Online and a community coordinator for EVE Online. Ran several events, and I hope to bring. My goal is to bring the knowledge of both of the community aspect from both of those games into Shards Online.
Right. So while they're
You
doing
also
this
worked
little
as a
QA,
designer for UO and Warhammer, right? Warhammer Online.
Yes, I did. Probably for
Could've
about
turned
a
down the
year
volume
on,
on that.
on each project. My claim to fame on UO is milking cows. I implemented milking cows.
That's awesome.
right. So
That's just great.
I've
All right, running down the line.
turned the
here.
mumble down a
Austin,
bit.
How's it going?
Doing well.
And you started as an intern with Citadel Studios, right?
Right. And now I'm a world artist.
That's awesome.
So it's one of the world artists. First
when
time
did
I've
you
heard of
start?
him.
I'm trying to remember when your internship first started with us.
I actually think it was like almost a year ago. Or
Wow.
more than a year ago, probably.
Wow, that's just crazy to think of that. So, actually earlier we were playing around and we actually loaded up the Two Towers map. The players got to see it.
Cool.
So, Austin and his cohort Tiffany were the brain children behind the Two Towers map. They designed it and built the entire thing.
Yeah.
That's Tiffany back there. Hi, Tiffany.
Hi.
Oh,
Tiffany also started
there's-
as an intern with us. I don't
there's a-
really think we consider her an intern anymore, but kind of texture artist / helping with world art and modeling and pretty much just about anything that has to do with art.
this is quite a good introduction, guys, to the
And
lot
she's
of
our
them.
resident pizza lover.
Cat pizza lover, to be specific.
Cat pizza. Did she say cat
All right,
pizza?
and down the line here. Let's see. Next we have Chip. You guys have seen Chip quite a bit this weekend. Our sound designer and also a streamer.
Yep, hello.
He's the reason that you feel bad when a deer or a bear dies.
That's the goal.
I have to
we're gonna
admit, I did
some
feel
video
bad.
Sound effects as well, because we made that bunny stomp mod, and I was looking for a sound effect for when you squish the bunnies, so I ended up going with the pickup sound for meat. Actually works really well.
It's like a sticky slurpy sound.
Look,
How
I've
did you end
just
up here at Citadel, Chip?
I've just arrived
Well, I've
in
been
the house.
doing audio
There's
related
Merg.
stuff for almost 18 years in live sound and stuff, and I got a degree in sound design, and I worked at a post-production house in DC for a while, and I was teaching at the Art Institute of Washington and American University, teaching audio, and so I said, hey, Derek, when you get a chance, when you're ready
Let's
for sound,
dance.
let me know. I'd love to come and work on it. And
Dance.
he said, well, I'm ready now, so that was that.
Yeah, and our game just sounds awesome. You and also alongside you was the composer who helped out. It was somebody you actually found. You want to tell us a little bit about Mike?
Sure, Mike Eichstadt was
There's
one of my
Adita.
students at the Art Institute.
Supreme
and,
looking
We
huge.
were trying, just like we did with Austin and Tiffany, we were trying to get people started in the games industry, give them a shot where maybe someone else wouldn't. And Mike applied for an internship with us, and he's been working out great. He's been doing all the music, and he's helped me with some of the sound design as well.
Yep. So that theme song when you entered the game, the music on PvE Island, the music on PvP Island, the combat music, all of that was composed and original for Shards Online by Mike Eichstadt, under the direction of
That's quite
Chip.
cool.
Oh, sure, thanks.
And we're very proud.
Yes, we are.
Our game sounds great, especially at this early of a stage. It's fantastic.
Well,
Yeah, I
thank
don't
you.
think many games have like a lot of the sound or even a lot of the music that we have in this early stage of pre-alpha.
We are truly blessed. Going down the line without further ado, Chris Andres, one of the other co-founders of Citadel Studios. Chris, say hi.
Hello.
Chris, tell us a little bit about your history, where you came from.
Oh my goodness, I got a long history. So I've been in the industry for about 17 or 18 years. Started off at Bethesda Softworks, working alongside Todd Howard, Ken Ralston, and some of the other RPG they used to make. Morrowind, Daggerfall, and some of the other old-time RPGs.
Talk about name dropping.
Went from there to Dark Age of Camelot. Worked on about 4 or 5 different, well, more than that, about 6 or 7 different expansions there. And then eventually moved over to Warhammer. I was an art director. Did a lot of art director stuff, obviously. Producer as well. And from there, when it even got better when I started working with Derek. That's when things got I have a lot of history, done a lot of things from art, from producer to I wore many hats along the way, and it's been a great road so far. And right now, it's been really fun and challenging working with Shards and try to do something unique and different. And we really come a long way. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying it.
Yeah,
I am.
You and I really bonded on our trips to China, right? When we were working on the.
Well, that helped too. Yeah.
So Chris and I have taken several trips to China, actually out to Shanghai, and also to a much smaller city. What was the name of that city? Fuzhou, China, yeah. So we were helping EA with some of their adventures in China, trying to get a foothold in that market with online games. What was the 2 products that we were focused on out there?
So there's 2 products that EA decided to partner with. A company called NetDragon. One was Dungeon Keeper Online. Try to make the most popular RTS strategy games out there, Dungeon Keeper, into an MMO. A lot of stories behind that too. And Ultima, try to do Ultima China. Try to see if we can get a third-party company to make something big in China, because that's a huge market. So they felt it was better to try to get a no-name company to do something, because if it didn't work out, it's okay. And obviously you didn't hear about it, so obviously it didn't go very far. But it was a wonderful trip. You went out there so many times. And Derek, can you tell me what some of the strange food that you ate when you were there?
Man, we ate all kinds of stuff while we were out there. I think probably snake was the craziest one that I had, and I actually
snake.
liked it.
I wouldn't do that.
There's a lot of little bones in snake, which is kind of a guard just came into the house and killed somebody.
It was like, if you think about it, if you have a comb, imagine a comb having meat on it, and then trying to eat.
That just sounds awful.
Because that's what it's like with eating snake, a little rib.
Yeah, pretty much. You had to there was a trick to it for sure. I think the craziest thing I saw you eat was scorpion.
They were fried.
Why would you?
So they weren't live, and yes, scorpion on one of those little tiny crackers. A little bit of Tabasco, and it goes down fine. It tasted just like olive oil. It was fine.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I also remember, was it you? We were eating like squid or something, and you weren't supposed to eat the egg, the ink sac, and you ate.
No, that was Ralph. Remember, and he was eating it, and you saw all the black stuff in his mouth.
Yeah.
He was laughing, and it was coming
sounds
out of his
gross.
mouth, and he didn't realize all the black ink crap.
So,
I got it.
I'm playing.
Laughing so hard because they all knew you weren't supposed to eat it except him.
I'm playing away at Shards while listening to
So
this
we had
developer hangout.
I was just going to say we had some crazy times out there in China, and I think that's where you and I really bonded, and that was one of the times where we realized we needed to do something together.
Absolutely. When you're traveling 18 hours on a flight, and then you're in foreign lands with someone, you really get a chance to get to know who they are, how they what they think, and obviously what their dreams and aspirations are. And this is one of the things you always talk about doing, and here we are, right?
Pulverize.
For sure. Last but definitely not least, we have Mavrum, aka Amy, and she is our
Maleda.
Sorry, get mixed up. And she's our community manager, and I'll let her talk. Say hello.
Hi. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to follow up Snake and Scorpion in China, but I'll try. I am Maleda. Most of those who have been around have talked to me already. I am the newest member to the team, I believe. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they found me on the side of the road, picked me up, and brought me home, and, I whimpered a lot, and they kept me. And, I help out with the community management, and just making connections where they need to be.
Yeah, I think actually I had stumbled on your Google Hangout videos that you guys have on YouTube, and I don't remember what you guys were talking about, but it was like I was just like, man, she really gets it. She's got it kind of figured out, and I just randomly emailed you. I was like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'll have to try to remember which broadcast that was. I was a game journalist for a while, and even though I got out of that, I have this problem where I can't stop talking. So I've continued writing on my own site and was doing weekly shows with some writers like Bo Heinman, formerly of Massively, and a couple other really awesome, amazing people.
Yay, successfully
And
unlocked.
That was probably something around Elder Scrolls Online, I'd imagine.
That's awesome. So for the people who are just joining us, this is the Shards preview event weekend. We're letting people into our very, very early pre-alpha build to try the game. We're running a Kickstarter campaign. I posted a link to the campaign in the chat there. Please visit the page. Gives you lots and lots of details about the entire game. And go there and check it out. But if you have any questions, we're going to start taking them now. We've also invited some of our players into our Mumble stream with us so that they can ask us questions directly and not have to type them in chat. So I'm going to unmute those guys right now, and they can all say hi.
Ooh, we're ready to get unmuted.
So I just unmuted Bemolith, Dermot, Disorder, D Murphy, and I think that's it. Hey guys.
Hey!
Oh,
and Dusty.
And Dusty. I didn't recognize because he's actually registered, so he didn't come up like the other ones. But hey guys.
Mac D to my
Hey guys.
Hey there.
Hey.
Hello.
Cool. Welcome to the chat.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
So I don't know if all you guys have questions or not, but maybe we can just run down. Hopefully you guys all have at least one question. So I'll start with Bimo. Do you have a question for the development team?
On the spot.
Yeah.
Let's see how. We're AFK.
Yeah, maybe he's AFK. All right, Dermot, do you have a question for us?
Oh, let's see. What can you tell us about the Tower of Babel? What are you ready to tell us about that?
Actually, we had a Fiction Friday set up for that one. I don't know if that's one of the ones that we posted. What are the Fiction Fridays that we did? Was Tower of the Babel one of them?
Yes, that was the second one.
Ah, okay. So there were some juicy tidbits in there. What I like about Tower of Babel is, Dermot, have you ever seen Sword Art Online?
A little bit, not a whole lot of it.
I haven't seen the whole thing either, but I've seen a few episodes because Draconi made me watch it. Tower of Babel is one of his pet projects, and it's semi-inspired by Sword Art Online in the sense that there's this kind of like never-ending tower, like where every level of the dungeon is like a new dungeon all in itself almost.
That's really one of the things that I thought they should have done with Diablo 3 after it came out, and it was so easy to max your level out and then run out of content.
Right, yeah. And actually, I think in the lore, it says something like no mortal has scaled even a tenth of its height, which is pretty crazy.
So that's one area that I am really, really itching to get my hands on and to see what I can do as a player.
Pull up the beautiful concept art that we have for Tower of Babel real quick so everybody can see it.
Let's have a look.
Hey Chris, can you talk a little bit about the concept artist that did this piece?
Matt Laura?
Yeah, where did you find Matt?
Matt, I can't remember. One of the things that I bring to the table is I've worked outsourcing in with a lot of artists over the years, and I just have an uncanny way of finding really good artists and people who are willing to work cool stuff. And he was a guy. He moved from Hawaii to LA, and he was looking for some work, and he had some really good concepts. Oh, you can see it on the live page, and really great guy to work with. He's an
That looks
right
cool.
now, so,
What do you think?
we're not going out there and fortune. But he's a guy who's been in the industry for a good couple of years. real bright kid. He does one of the things that he really does well. If you get a chance to go to his website, he does these really cool. What is that stuff, Derek? Where he did they're like animated. What's that? What's the Ken Burns style? What's that Ken Burns style called?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. What the heck is the name of that? It's basically like an After Effects animation type thing.
But it's like 3D, but they're movable, but they're still flat images.
Parallaxing.
But a lot of parallaxing with effects and things like that. He's some really stuff. He's a real talented young man, and we're very fortunate. To
Oh,
have him on
what?
our side,
I just got killed.
For us. And this was one of his latest pieces. He's done a lot of stuff for us, and we'd love to show some of the stuff that we can't show yet because it's kind of been suppressed at this point. We're kind of waiting to show it later. The kid's good.
I kind of give a shameless plug to his portfolio site. I just posted it there. If you guys are interested in seeing some of the other work he's done unrelated to Shards Online.
Greetings, my friends. Anything?
I go to his website, and one of the first things he has right there is the Coliseum for Shards Online.
Oh, that's awesome. He's even got the Citadel Studios watermark on it. I like that.
Yeah, I told him he could use it since we went live with it too.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry. He's been really active on Tumblr and DeviantArt both, talking about the concept art he did for us and kind of giving some of the inspiration for different pieces. It's a really neat read. I'll have to check and see if he's got that linked on his main site.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a really unique style.
For the answer to D3, we're doing a free preview weekend. The game is free to play all weekend. It's a very early pre-alpha build intended to generate awareness for our Kickstarter campaign. If you back us for $20 on Kickstarter, you get a digital copy of the game that allow you to play the game forever. We got a question in chat about packet encryption and anti-cheat protection. And actually, we already have packet encryption in place to a certain degree. If you try to sniff the packets for this game, you will see just a bunch of gobbledygook. In terms of anti-cheat protection, that's one of those things that is always important in online games, and it's a never-ending battle between the cheaters and the developers. So yes, we will devote significant resources to anti-cheat stuff. One of our advantages is that our clients are very quote-unquote dumb, which means that they do not really do a lot of actual calculation. Most of the simulation is done on the server, and the client just receives state updates. So it makes it much easier to keep things locked down on the server. All right. Let's see. Disorder, did you have a question for us while you're here?
I actually don't, so I kind of fail.
No worries.
At least you're honest.
I'd love to get your kind of take on what you've seen so far this weekend. What do you think, Disorder? Because I know you've been playing quite a bit.
Oh man, I love it. It's great. It reminds me so much of, old school Euro days, so it's just been a blast.
That's cool. We're glad you guys are having a blast with it.
And you can always ask us questions about our past too, about our experiences, some funny stuff that went on. So, it doesn't have to just be focused on Shards. Of course, that's what we like to talk about, but you're more than welcome to ask questions about our past history and development experience as well.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, D. Murphy, did you have any questions for us?
Hey there. First, thanks for inviting me on here. It's great. I just want to say that I'm very excited about the game, and when I first heard about the game, not too long ago, I thought, thank God, it was about time. Basically, what I've been looking for is something that's so customizable as Shards is gonna be. It just excites me a lot. But basically, questions. A lot of my questions have been answered. I'm more interested in the technical side of the game, creating mods, administrating Shards, and all my questions basically have been answered. But I do have one. I'm interested in creating web applications for Shards, and I'm wondering if there'll be a web API where people can connect to their Shards, get stats on demand, sort of a thing.
That's a great question. And I don't know if you caught it, but earlier Jim and I were having a discussion, I think it was around 4 o'clock, and we really got into the different layers of customization that'll be available.
I know they're talking, but I am still going to
explore it
continue
into,
playing and get involved in the discussion.
We're probably going to take that bit of that discussion that we had, pull it apart, and put it up on YouTube, because it really was a great kind of overview of how much customization will go into the game. Did you happen to catch that?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Just
Well,
check
we'll
my
make sure we put
skills.
it up on YouTube for you. Yeah, we'll put it right up on YouTube. It's going to be awesome. And then to answer your question, I love the concepts of adding APIs for players. You know, there's a couple of games that have done that really well. You know, like EVE Online is kind of a good example of a game that's pulled off the API thing pretty well, and a couple other games out there. I think that a lot of developers are scared about what people are going to do with those APIs, and so I think that we have an advantage here because being that we're allowing players to run their own servers, we could choose for those people who run them to decide what level of exposure the API gives, right? Like they could say, well, no API at all from my server, or it'll just have a couple of things available, or maybe we'll just open up the whole thing. We could allow for that level of customization on per server level.
There we go.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Cool. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say real quick, your character that you have in game, that big, huge guy in armor, is you gonna have him do something cool? Go around, smash people, or destroy, or...
It's real hard to run the stream and actually control a character at the same time.
Okay,
I've been playing a lot all weekend, so.
We seem to be having some trouble with audio in here. People are saying they didn't hear the response to that question. And they're not hearing Derek.
Hello? Check.
That's weird.
It's recognizing my audio on the open broadcasting software. Maybe, did I not? No, I wonder if it just messed up for a second there.
If they can hear D. Murphy, they ought to be able to hear Derek. It's the same output.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let's see as the stream catches up if they're hearing us have this discussion about the audio. Oh, now they can hear me.
Yeah,
I
now.
wonder if something happened there. So the question that they all missed was the one about API, right? And what I was saying is that the advantage to Shards Online and allowing players to run their own servers is we can decide how much of the API, or the person running the server can decide how much of the API they want to expose, and also if they want to make it maybe password protected where only certain people have access to that API. And we can allow that kind of protection on a per server level. But that's something that big game developers are scared about releasing APIs, is because they don't know what players will do with it. So we can provide that to our players who run their own servers.
Which, in my opinion, is a perfect solution.
For sure. We got another question in the chat that is, what are the plans moving forward if Kickstarter fails? And this is probably a tough question for anybody that's in our situation to answer. Really, we've been so focused on the campaign and just generating awareness. And honestly, when you talk about Kickstarter and what its value is, it really brings value in two places. The first one is obviously the funding, right? We need to raise that money so we can put our heads down, we can finish this game. The other one is the marketing and the awareness that you gain about your product from Kickstarter. So whether our campaign succeeds or fails, we have gained a lot from this past month. We've gained a bunch of fans, we've gained a ton of support, so we've just gained so much. I really think that no matter what happens with the campaign, it has been a net win for Citadel Studios. And that's one of the key takeaways, is that this has been nothing but positive, and the feedback and the responses from the fans has just been so useful and beneficial to us. So when we look back on this campaign, whether we succeed or quote unquote fail at our goal, we still succeeded in many other ways. Now, talking about going forward, what we're going to do, we're going to make sure that you guys, this community that we've established, are taken care of. Amy's going to stay on board, and she's going to help out, and so is Chrissy, is going to help keeping kind of our community engaged. We'll continue to do some play tests with the groups as we develop new stuff. But really what we're going to do is kind of get into a bit of an introspective mode where we kind of focus on our moving forward, whether or not we raise our goal, what the next steps are. So, things may get a little quiet in a couple of weeks after the campaign as we regroup and we figure out exactly what the plan is. And then we're going to let you guys know as soon as we've settled on it. But for right now, it's all about the campaign, and it's all about just getting as many people to see this awesome thing that we've created right now.
So one thing that we had talked about this morning with the community chat was that throughout we do plan on having different events, possibly maybe once a month, even if it's just playtest with our fans.
Great. Hey, Chris, did you have anything else to add about the campaign, or do you think I hit it on the nail there? Hit the nail on the head.
I think you hit the nail on the head here. You kind of iterated that. We're kind of reassessing what our future holds, but the future, regardless, we're going to continue moving forward with this. It's just to what extent. We're going to make Shards online, regardless. It's okay now. What does the next pad look like? What does the next 3, 6, 9 months look like? And that's something we're talking about now with Derek and the team, and we're thinking about a good plan to obviously get clear. It's something great to play as we move forward and be part of the building process with us.
Right. Yeah. So when we talk about why we chose a $320,000 goal, it was because we got together and we decided what we wanted our game to look like at alpha and what we wanted to look like at release. And we knew that the product that we put forth on our Kickstarter page, when you look at the 4 maps and the housing and the taming and all the features and skills and crafting and resource gathering, all that stuff, that is a pretty big undertaking. And we kind of put our heads together and said, okay, it's going to cost about $320 to make this. And that's where we came up with that goal. So that being said, if we don't have $320,000 to make the game, we're going to have to take another look and figure out exactly what it is we can pull off. What can we get in a fully playable state so we can get people playing and enjoying the game as fast as possible?
Yes.
Now, while you're on the subject, we had a couple questions in the Twitch chat come up about what made you choose Kickstarter, and while we're doing the choosing thing, why we chose Unity over other game engines like Unreal.
Well, I'll start with Kickstarter, and for one, the Kickstarter team are really great. I didn't actually reach out to the Indiegogo people, but we had been working with Cindy Au at the community team over at Kickstarter, and we just got a lot of support from them. Just Kickstarter in general has kind of become the go-to place for crowdfunding, and so and we did want to go with an all-or-nothing goal because we don't want to raise money and then not be able to deliver. That's why we raise that $320. We can deliver what we promise. If we don't want to take your money. And so that's kind of the whole kind of all or nothing thing that Kickstarter brings forward. And we talk about choice for Unity. So Unity has a lot of advantages. It's very easy to get into. It's very easy to edit. It provides a very huge and very well-rounded pipeline for bringing art assets directly into the game and getting them running. And there's just so much that Unity provides that kind of gives an indie studio like us a head start in building something like this. That it really was kind of a no-brainer for us. We looked at the other engines out there, and really kind of Unity was one of the ones that was just it just perfectly suited kind of the goals that we had set forth and the style of game we wanted to build.
Okay, we have another question. After you get the game in final form, will you be adding content regularly, or be taking the download expansion route?
Hey, Chris, do you want to try to answer that one? You're sounding a little quiet, though. I don't know if maybe you can make the mic a little louder.
I can always make it louder. Is this better?
Oh, that's so much better.
Well, in terms of that question, it's kind of like maybe a two-part. Certainly, we would love to. We're going to. Of course, we're going to add content to it regularly, and whether it's downloaded content or expansion route, we're not quite sure. I mean, we kind of have different ways to go about this. I kind of like the fact that maybe we have the regular game comes out, and then 3 months later we have a downloadable pack that contains X, whether it's more content for monsters or animations or emotes or whatever things that we think are cool at the time. And the beauty about what we're doing is we can change and move depending on what our customers want. So if you guys want certain types of content, we'll say, hey, 3 months, guys ask for this, we'll get it for you. So a lot of it, it depends on what I think our community demands, and we will adjust to what the community demands, and we'll give it to you guys.
Yeah, that's a pretty good answer. I would agree with everything you said. Cool. So while we're waiting for a couple more questions to come in, let's showcase a couple of the other maps that we have concept art for. So, when we talk about how we built this kind of high fantasy map for our playtest and for our Kickstarter to showcase, that's because, fantasy is something that we're familiar with working on other games like Ultima Online and all the other games that Mythic released. So, but we're not just sticking to high fantasy with this game, and we showed you the Tower of Babel, which kind of spans multiple genres. But we also have a few other maps kind of lined up. And let's see, I'll start with here, the Roman Colosseum, which is a really cool looking map. Maybe Chris can talk a little bit about it once I get it up here.
One thing I wanted to talk about is your idea when they were talking about downloadable content or expand. We wanted to kind of have, at least for Kickstarter, a survey, not really a survey, what were you trying to do for the Kickstarter? Trying to have a, trying to think of what the word was. What did our customers want to have? And we would actually create the content or create the next shard based on your recommendations, based on what you want.
Oh, that was an awesome idea that we had, right?
And I think that's the way to go going forward. It's what our players want. Do they want a Coliseum? Great, awesome. Do they want the Tower of Babel? Great, we'll give it to them. Do they want Terminus? Great. It's all based on, what they want. We want certain things too. But if our customers demand that they want to see the Coliseum first expansion, shoot, we'll do it.
Yeah, I actually had a really cool idea for stretch goals, which was as we opened up new stretch goals, we would actually allow the community to vote on what the next stretch goal should be by providing them with a list of different
This guy here wants Vorpal bunnies.
Packs and stuff, and basically, let the players choose what the next stretch goal would be. I think that's what you were referring to.
Yes, that's correct.
Mm-hmm. And so, before we start talking about the Coliseum, let me ask Dusty here if he has any questions. Hey, Dusty.
Hey, obviously during this sort of weekend we've seen, the ideas behind PvP, PvM. What, obviously you're still working on this, but what will be the next big part of the game that you work on? Also, while I'm in game, someone called Tomeric started shouting, "Vorpal bunnies, please."
Unfortunately, right now we can only spawn the Vorpal or the pink bunnies on the Madness Shard, so we have to go over there to spawn those. And that's a great question, and I wish Bruce was here to answer it because he's already kind of started on some of the next stuff. And really, there's kind of a two-prong focus for going forward. One of them is additional content, and that's in the form of assets like monsters, maps, animations. We're going to need a lot more. The picture's not entertaining people.
You want to be entertained? Let's entertain them, Derek. Come on.
Right.
I just thought it was a gladiator joke.
It was.
Maybe we should head over to the Madness Shard so we can entertain people with the stuff. But so what I was saying is that's a two-pronged approach, right? The content, the maps, the assets, and stuff like that. The other side of it is the systems. And on that side, Bruce has already started to work on the crafting system. He started to work on rogue skills like picking locks and cloaking, or not, I guess you call it sneaking. So that's kind of the two-pronged approach there that we'll be focusing on. And then, of course, the third one that's kind of behind the scenes that's kind of not so sexy is getting that cluster technology up and running.
That's plenty sexy to some people. There's actually a big chunk of our forums about that.
That's true. That's very true. And actually, the cluster technology works to a certain degree in our internal environment. It's just not ready yet.
So you're really working on all of them at roughly a lot of stuff all at the same time.
Yeah. Total multitasking over here. Development has slowed a little bit with the Kickstarter campaign just because we are so focused on getting the awareness and getting the message out there. But yeah, that will be as development starts to pick up, those will be the directions that we head.
But it's funny, it really hasn't really slowed down. It really doubled because look at all the stuff that has been done since we first started Kickstarter. We were just supposed to have content updates, Fiction Friday, a couple of videos, and we ended up having how many different mods? Then we did Twitch, and we did Battle of the Backers. I mean, holy crap.
Yeah, no, it's true, and we have the server list now. We have the Battle of the Backers event now runs without having to have a god intervene.
I think there's something
Intervene.
something here about necessity being the mother of invention, or maybe just productivity.
Yeah, kind of. And when the fire is under your butt, you get stuff done.
It's a great learning experience.
Well, the world's
sure
now
it is.
watching you, so you know, it's good to have a fire.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think, when we look back on this Kickstarter campaign, it's starting to come to a close now, and we really have learned a lot. And honestly, I think probably the biggest takeaway from this entire thing is that game developers are not marketing people. We've had some great PR people, and they've really helped us get into the press and kind of get the name out there. But when it comes to getting, what you find is with potential customers, you get like 5 seconds of their time. If you say one thing that turns them off, they're gone. And as game developers, we don't think that way, right? For us, we understand it might take an hour for somebody to kind of get the concept and really get excited about it. But marketing people have a completely different approach, and it's just a completely different way of thinking. And so I've learned a lot. I think the entire team has learned a lot in that respect.
Yeah, they put their spin on it. We're honest. We just tell it like it is. We say a subscription. Well, you shouldn't say subscription. You just say downloadable content or something else. They have their way of spinning certain things. And we just want to make a cool game that you guys want to play. But how do we get it out there so you guys see that and you guys want to experience it? I don't know. We make a build and we put it out there. But it's been really, as Derek says, we're not marketing people, but we know how to make games, and we friggin' prove that. And that's one thing we do really well is we are able to change direction and make things really quick based on what our community wants and what they demand. And I think that's what makes us so strong. Okay, so we're not very strong in marketing. Well, you know what? We could go hire somebody who can do that stuff.
Right, exactly. I think it's a common story for indie companies. Indie studios are always trying to find their way and get the marketing out there and stuff, and it's definitely always a challenge because game designers and marketing are not one and the same, and that's something that we've definitely learned in this last month. So getting back to the Coliseum, this also was a Matt Lara piece, correct?
Yeah, this was.
Yep. And so this is kind of an example of kind of deviating from the standard high fantasy because, there's not really magic in a traditional Colosseum, Roman Colosseum type setting. But given that you might have learned some magic skills on the fantasy shard, you'll be able to bring those over to the Colosseum and kind of cast spells over there. The inhabitants of that shard know nothing about magic except for this, strange person over here casting a fireball. It's kind of interesting the way the worlds will kind of intertwine with each other.
One of the worlds we really didn't show was the stuff that Davidson was doing. You want to show them a sneak peek there? I don't know if you have it available.
Yeah, let's see.
No, we didn't put you on the spot.
Well, we have it. The only reason why we haven't really shown it in the campaign is because, we committed to those 4 maps with the $320,000 goal, but we had a lot of other concepts that were floating around, of course. Let's see. This one is a very early. Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
It is kick-ass.
Let's see. Here it is.
Which one are you showing?
The steampunk. That's
that
just
was
awesome.
Josh.
Yeah, so we actually have some lore set up for the steampunk shard too. It's an absolutely awesome, beautiful looking shard, and this is just a very early sketch. It should pop up on the stream there for the guys in Mumble real soon.
I was gonna say it's that awkward silence while we wait to see what you're looking at.
Yeah, right.
I'm waiting for it too.
And Chris, you may have a much more recent version of this sketch. I'm not sure.
What I am loving watching in the meanwhile is somebody in game chat recruiting for their guild already. If anyone wants to do that, we do have forums set up at shardsonline.com/forums, and please feel free to start recruiting. Not just for a guild, but for if you've got a particular shard concept in mind, we've got some people already looking to set up teams to work together.
That's awesome. I'm going to pull up just a couple other ones. We had the goblins, the volcano island where the fire goblins live. That one's just beautiful as well.
Show the Goblin King.
Did they just kill you in the background?
Yeah, I'm not sure how he managed to do that without the guards killing him. I never put the invulnerable script on.
It's because the door is closed, so they're just standing out there like, what do? We don't know how to door.
That's
I
awesome.
never gave the AI the ability to open doors.
There you go. That's
To-do
Hey,
list.
check this out. I'll open
They
the
don't
door.
leave it to
He's
the
gonna
blade.
die. Here they come.
remove the darn.
Too late.
Oh my god, that is hilarious. Oh,
You see concept art. See
Oh.
someone killing you, dude.
That's a
Oh,
really
man.
nice
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah, we see the
Wow.
volcano
I
right
like
now.
that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this one's sick. You just see the underground one. You're able to go from the top out on the surface and go actually down where you see the Fire Goblin Kings. Oh, it's crazy.
See, this volcano one, just having read the updates and the lore, the last Fiction Friday we had with the, I can't remember the race, but it was talking about them traveling through the gateways and the planet they ended up on, which ended up being the beginning, all the problems. That's how I kind of pictured it in my head, so that's really cool to see.
you're such a lore junkie, Amy.
I know! The first night on the job, I came in and I corrected one of the god names. It's like my one thing.
So Terminus is another really cool shard, and this is one of the ones that we committed to doing with the 320. And so this is a sci-fi horror, and I think the way Tim describes it is it's Cthulhu mixed with like Firefly or some kind of like sci-fi world. It's very dark and scary, and you know you don't want to go down that dark alley because you might just lose your mind, kind of thing.
That is the 10th one today.
Side note, Sir Temple came in and is asking if we could unmute him.
Hey, Sir Temple. Got a couple more in here.
What's up?
And Digera.
Digera doesn't have a mic.
Oh, okay. Hey, Sir Temple, how's it going? Looks like he might be having some mic issues as well. We'll let him sort that out. That's too bad that had the image up when Sir
Got ganked. Yes.
Yeah, and then he opened the door and all the guards came in and killed him.
That's awesome.
Okay, hello.
Ah, huzzah!
Hello. I don't know what's going on with the push to talk. It's not working.
Mumble can be
I
a
heard
little
you.
bit tricky to get the audio set up on.
At the moment, it's on continuous, which is pretty annoying.
Yeah, it can be tough to use.
I can take this up on IRC and PMs with you for a second while they continue.
You're referring to me?
I am.
Okay, yeah, sure.
For those of you that are just joining us, this is the Shards Online Preview Weekend. We are opening up the game. It's a very early pre-alpha build, and the idea is anyone can come in and play. It's only a 200 meg download. It's very easy. There's no installer. You just extract it and run. And we are basically talking about the... at about 9 o'clock, and maybe sooner, we may start a little bit earlier. We're going to run a round of Battle of the Backers with some of our players. Maybe 1 or 2 rounds. We'll see. So look forward to that. And let me get the Kickstarter link posted. We are running a Kickstarter campaign, and if you like what you're seeing or having fun this weekend, please back us on Kickstarter. $20 gets you a digital copy of the game, and $50 you'll get into the closed alpha.
And they say devs aren't marketing guys.
Sometimes I forget. Like I'll talk for an
You're
hour.
doing just fine, dude.
Yeah.
It's quite funny listening to them. Obviously, I've been quite
Alright,
quiet
so
on
we
my stream while we were
showed
listening.
World of the Dead Gods. I think we covered all the maps, didn't we? At least the ones that we have planned in the near future.
Can you show everyone the rocket pants?
The rocket pants. I'd have to leave this shard. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Well, don't you have the video?
I'll just jump on one of the other shards real quick.
Can I just ask, obviously with all the different maps and everything, are these lands and maps going to be connected together, or are these going to be sort of different maps per shard?
So that's when you start to get into the cluster concept, where these multiple shards are connected together with a cluster. And so basically the gods or the people who run the servers, on our official servers, it will be us. We'll set up portals that allow travel between all of the different shards in a given cluster. Now, a cluster is like a server, right? When you go to the server selection screen, you'll choose a cluster, and in that cluster is a grouping of shards. So yes, you'll be able to travel between those shards as long as they're all connected to the same cluster. That's a great question.
So basically each map concept would be a different shard.
Yes, exactly. And they are sort of like instances in the sense that you can run multiple copies of the same shard. You could have, 3 or 4 of the high fantasy shard, a couple of Tower of Babels. It's totally up to you how many of each shard you want to run.
And then at some point as the game advances, you'd be able to say, well, I don't want steampunk in my cluster or whatever, and you'd be able to have all these different fantasy shards, exclude what you want, include what you want.
Jaren Arrowsmith just took my pants. So Chris was asking about the quote-unquote rocket pants.
Yes.
It's just a funny bug that when you put pants on and you're a fireball, you kind of have this kind of rocket-looking effect. It's awesome.
Well, that's the beauty of game development. When you try to do cool things, just crazy stuff happens. When you actually have it on video and you can see results like this, it's just fun to watch.
Oh, well, you should see what we did earlier, Chris. I actually tamed a player and then attacked another player with them.
Oh, it's even better. That's awesome.
You can actually...
You can have the Battle of the Pants, right?
The Battle of the Pants. That's just too funny.
That looks so cool.
That's awesome.
The answer to prowess, my dog thinks somebody's at the door. He always thinks somebody's at the door.
Can you make it so the pants shoot anything? Can you do that on the fly?
No.
Which server have you joined to do that on?
That was the BOTB server. The Battle of Backers, we actually have it set so when you create a god character, you appear as a fireball.
Just join in.
Hey, Derek, can you unmute Sir Teppel and Amy?
Yep.
Gunga didn't want you to fire
Root
a rabbit
boots.
out of your pants.
So now I'm on the Mad World server because you can see some. I'll try to do some other silly stuff. Just a little tricky to stream and do stuff at the same time. But these are some fire-breathing bears here for those of you who've never seen them before.
You should make some thunder-creating pants.
The raging hippie over here shoots rabbits at you.
I just think it was really cool that you set up the fire bears to roam in packs. Nobody has a chance of surviving that.
No, they are pretty dangerous.
But
Sky T is going to try to kill me.
if you had a bunch of pants that would shoot fireballs, you can protect yourself.
Tamed pants that shoot fireballs.
Even I like the way you think, dude.
Alright, I'm going to go tame Sky Tia.
It'd be kind of like how you get those specters. That are just floating swords.
Thank you.
But in pants.
See, I have a tamed player now. He's following me around. You guys will see it soon.
Anything you like. Cheers. Thank you.
So the player has no control whatsoever right now, right, Derek?
No, he actually does, though. That's the funny thing about the tame script right now. Like, he can kind of override it.
Anything you like. Cheers.
But I can also choose to make him do my bidding as well. I'm taming. So the reason why these guards are so tiny is because when I was doing a Mad World event earlier today, they were getting in the way. They were constantly killing everybody. So I was like, that's not fair. So I turned their damage way down and I made them tiny.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Could you scroll in just a little bit?
They're nice little guards.
Of mini guards. I've got a bunch of naked players trying to.
There you go. That looks great.
I think that's the number one thing that our cleanup crews have had to pick up probably is pants everywhere.
Yeah, we basically want everybody to start with at least some pants, so that ends up being the first thing that everyone discards. Actually, looking back on it,
I always tend to get a whole pile of gold and just put them in a chest for whoever wants to take it.
well, that's a good Samaritan of you.
I have noticed that there are some areas on the map where items do get dropped and they can't be picked up again.
Yeah, that's a really annoying bug with the mouse picking system. Sometimes if you zoom in, you can get like a different perspective on the item, and then you can click on it. Not quite sure what's causing that bug.
Sometimes when you have a difficult body to reach, just press spacebar and it'll come up with a corpse or the.
Yeah.
I don't know if it does items though.
And it doesn't do items yet, but I definitely want to make it an easier way to click on small items. That's one of the most commonly complained about things right now is getting those small items off the ground.
Rudolph the giant reindeer.
Any questions coming up in chat? If we don't have too many questions, we could always just go right into Battle of the Back.
Well, Seraph was asking if we'll be able to rotate the camera view at all.
You know, actually, that you're not the first person to ask that, and you know, right now the way we have entered buildings would make not possible to rotate the camera, and also the way we build the maps is kind of specially made for this sort of camera angle. But it is something that we may consider if we get enough requests for. We may actually look into it, but that would definitely be something that we'd have to investigate before we could make a decision on.
But while you're in God mode, you can go into more of a free view camera. You just can't play the game like that.
Right, yeah, and the reason for that is because it's just, you know, kind of all bets are off if you're a god. If you're playing a god character, you can deal with the graphical glitches and the weird things that are going to happen when you're using a free floating camera. And plus, good.
I was gonna say, it is a pretty breathtaking view, though, every time you do it. I know I've been asked that question from people who want to use shards to make machinima videos.
Right, and we'll definitely be able to do that with this kind of free-floating spectator camera.
Will there be archery or ranged combat besides magery?
That's a great question for Bruce. He's doing a systems Q&A tomorrow. I know the answer to that is yes. But if you want more than just yes, he can get into all the details about ranged weapons and all his crazy plans for those.
Imagine a bow and arrow that shoots exploding pants.
Oh my god, I don't think I want to go to your show.
I've got all the ideas.
His shard sounds like a lot of fun.
I know.
I think it sounds pants.
It does revolve around pants, it seems.
Someone's asking,
could be chest pieces. Could be chest pieces.
So, someone's asking what the ETA is in the next official alpha test. And, you know, as, I don't know, some people might have just joined us. We're doing a preview weekend where anybody can come in and play the game. And this is generate awareness for our Kickstarter campaign. You can get a download link off of our Kickstarter page or the event page. We'll have somebody link those in the chat for you. And the next one we haven't quite scheduled yet. It's going to be based on, remember, we were talking about how we're going to kind of enter an introspective phase for a couple of weeks and figure out what our next steps are. And probably around that same time, we'll make a decision about when the next alpha test will be.
So I have a boring kind of question. Earlier, I was asking about how many people could you cram onto a server and things like that. And then I was thinking about it. It's like, you know, usually in games where you have a lot of people, they'll either sit around in the same place, like a market hub or something like that, or they'll all show up to the same event, and they'll all be in one place. I was wondering, is the server really going to handle having tons of people in the same spot, or?
It's a good question. So honestly, you know, when we were prepping this pre-alpha build, we didn't have much time for optimization. It was a very much a get it done kind of philosophy, and that's why right now we're limiting our shards to 24 players, and that's really just because we just haven't optimized. I think as we optimize, one of the things that you'll find if you haven't optimized something, often you can get performance gains in the order of 10 times. So if you imagine that it's possible for us to have that kind of performance gains, then we could have potentially 128 players or more on a server and have no problems with that. And then going beyond 128, I definitely think it is possible. It's just one of those things that we need to investigate and we need to work on the optimizations and just get that done.
On a similar vein, right now, Big Mac with Fries is asking if there's a way to turn off shadows or lower the graphics settings right now because he's having trouble playing the pre-alpha.
Unfortunately, that also goes into the kind of optimization stuff. The client as well is not very much optimized. Hold on, I need to stick my guards on SkyTA. He's not being nice to me.
Can't you see I'm busy?
Okay. Yeah, so the client also has not been optimized, and I think we have a long ways to go in getting the client cleaned up as well. So I apologize if it does not run on your system right now. In future alpha tests, we hope to make it run a lot smoother on lower spec machines. For right now, no, we do not have a way to turn off shadows, and I apologize.
A simple
But
solution.
that's also why we have an EU shard in case we have some European fans. We have a shard located in Dublin. So if you're experiencing lag and you're in Europe, you can always try that one.
It works for me considering I'm in Australia, so it was a good one.
What were you saying, Austin?
Oh, if some people's computers maybe can't handle or it's not completely optimized, if you don't run it in full screen and so running Windows, and you kind of minimize your window a little bit to make it a little bit smaller, it will run better.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, the smaller the window, the better your frame rate will be. I just restarted the EU server. Actually, when Chrissy mentioned that, it reminded me that it's been down for a while. So I just gave it a restart. I got a couple other questions popping up in chat. I'm reading this long comment by Prowess about Neverwinter Nights. I don't think he has a question there. Okay, Gungadin is asking about PvE, dungeons, quests, mini raids.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all going to be definitely stuff that we will be supporting, and Tower of Babel is an example of our first dungeon. And setting up quests, that's kind of goes into that kind of layers of customization and how players can create their own quests. So again, we're going to put that discussion we had about customization up on our YouTube channel. We'll make sure everybody can find that. And so really what it comes down to is there is many different ways to customize the game if you're running your own server, and you don't need to be a scripter in order to set up some basic content, but then if you really want to get into it and customize, you can get down into it, and you can really make some real custom AIs and really make dynamic quests that are truly unique to your server. And with the mini raids, raids are a great way to kind of get players together under a common goal, so we'll certainly see stuff like that in our game.
Which again, I think in our map showcase on the Tower of Babel, actually one of the raid bosses, the concept art was put up, right? Looks like a big dragonish thing.
Oh, the Wyvern. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he lives on one of the levels of the tower.
Yeah, Gunga had also asked about the ability to set up an NPC to give out messages or clues, which is a lead into my favorite features.
Oh yeah, so, and also just wanted to say thanks Jaren for backing us. That's awesome. Yeah, so setting up NPCs to give out clues, there are two ways you can do that. One, there will be a behavior you can attach which will allow you to kind of set up kind of like branching dialogue stuff to allow to say, okay, if he's in this state, then say this message to him. But the other way, which is even easier, is with the possession ability. That's one of the god powers that we don't have implemented yet, but it'll allow you to possess a NPC or a monster in the world and play as that monster. You'll gain the skills and abilities of that monster. So imagine you could possess an NPC and run up to a group of people and say, help, help, my farm is under attack. Then you run over to the farm, you have Godspeed, so you can get there a lot faster.
Hey everyone.
You spawn
just to let you know,
or something,
what we have here is I'm in one of the customized servers in a Mumble server with the developers and a few of the other players. So that's who we're hearing. We were just hearing Derek, CEO, aka Supreme, for Shards Online.
That's like ideal for everything I want to do.
That's awesome.
Imagine taking control of a dragon with
Oh,
a
that-
chest piece.
Nice.
That has pants on.
I thought he was gonna say something about pants too.
He's a pants-breathing dragon, right?
Yeah, of course he breathes pants. What kind of question is that?
Why am I down to 2 guards? Where are all my tamed guards go?
Maybe you did.
I've got another question about the worlds and the maps and stuff. In terms of size, like what we have here on the sort of free, to play weekend, is that the sort of size you're looking for in general, or will it be bigger? Or
Well, so shards will come in all shapes and sizes. When you think about the home shards, now these are shards where you'll actually be able to place houses. They're going to have to be a lot larger than this, because if you imagine, here's an example of a player house, and you guys on Mumble will see this on the stream in a second, but the shard is going to have to be much larger. I'm just going to pop around this little test shard that we've created, and you can see that you'll run out of space really fast with just a few player houses. So the home shards are going to have to be very large, and they'll have lots of kind of undeveloped space for players to build houses on, and maybe even form player towns, guild halls, and such. And then you talk about kind of the adventure shards. Now those can be just about any size. I could imagine you could have a very small shard where there's just kind of one sort of raid encounter on it, and that may be kind of, just the size of one of these islands. But then you could have an adventure shard that could be a dungeon with maybe 100 levels, right? So while it doesn't cover a lot of physical landmass space, it's very large in the sense you either go deep down into this dungeon or go up into one.
Yeah, somebody did ask if the maps were going to have the ability to layer things like that.
Well, so actually right now there is no kind of there are no multiple floors of buildings or dungeons, but you can fake it by having the floors of the dungeon laid out horizontally, but the players would never see that, right? So there's lots of ways to kind of fake a tall tower without actually having the ability. Oh, somebody drank a dance party potion. Chrissy did it.
I just found raging hippies
Oh no! Get them! Get them!
and
It's so
fire
bad.
bears.
Merc was asking about the world building on a related note there.
So I'm guessing he's referring to custom assets, and that's basically player-made worlds. And that is one of our stretch goals. It's one of those things that we definitely feel like we can.
So right now
never
you're
call
seeing
Shards
a
Online
dance
complete
potion.
until players
Makes
can make
everyone
their own
dance.
maps from the ground all the way up. I'm talking about the terrain and the features and the houses and the buildings, everything. Of course, it's a stretch goal. It's a major undertaking to be able to pull something like that off. So we're focused on getting the game done and getting this custom rule set stuff where already you can see just with this madness mod here how much you can change without even having custom assets. And then the next level after that, the moment that is complete and we're happy with it, that's when we start getting into allowing players to create their own assets and importing their own assets onto their own servers.
Nice, they're all dancing. Have you shown them the Two Towers map at all, Eric?
Earlier today, we had our quote-unquote developer playground, and I did actually load that map. I can pop it open for some people that are just joining us.
I didn't
Love
get to
to
see
hear
it
what
yet.
ideas they have.
I missed that one.
I'll pop it open right now. So this I'm actually in space. Let me get to a good spot. We were playing around earlier and we figured out we can actually fall off the map.
Merc says he was thinking more about putting up objects like camps, wagons, walls.
Yeah, that's actually all possible within a custom rule set. Is what we call dynamic. Whoa, who is that?
Who's that? What?
You guys will see it on the stream. Oh, it's
Somebody's up.
BMO. Earlier when we did our developer playground thing, I actually gave the players the ability to grow in size, and of course BMO just made himself the biggest he could possibly be.
Yeah.
Holy crap, I can see feet! Holy shit, that's awesome!
It just came up on the stream.
That's a player, by the way. That's not one of the devs.
Wow.
I don't know why I gave him the power to do that, but
Shadows
Because
of
why not?
Colossus.
Because why not? That should be the theme of our Kickstarter.
Attack its weak point for massive damage.
So anyway, this shard here is a shard that Tiffany and Austin had built. They designed it and built it, and basically we kind of gave them the goal of, hey, make something that would be fun to do, kind of like either capture the flag or maybe like a fat princess kind of thing. If some of you guys have played that, so yeah, that was kind of the idea here. Definitely kind of shows. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Those woods would be really perfect to hide a little tall person as an Easter egg of some kind.
Yeah, definitely. We got Merg over here running around too as a giant, but not quite as giant as BMO.
I don't think anyone could be as giant as BMO.
I wrote the script in like 5 minutes, so I didn't think to put a limit on how large you could make yourself.
Now, I hope some of you are getting screenshots of this stream, because I want to see some great captions on here on the forums later. I'm talking to everybody watching.
What is he doing now? He's like flying.
That's just the animation system kind of messing up because he's just so big and he's walking so slow.
Can't handle.
Yeah, he's overloading the animation system. Yeah, so while we're here, this is a Shards online preview weekend. We are letting everybody get in the game and play and apparently make themselves as large as they want. It's a very early development build, pre-alpha, just to show some of the crazy stuff we can do with the game. So you can download the game on our event page or on the Kickstarter page. Somebody will link those in chat. Maleta, can you link those? Oh, man.
I'm sorry, I was laughing so hard. Which links do you need?
The Kickstarter page and the event page.
Oh, someone's making them bigger on the right.
I'm gonna have to...
In real time.
Gonna have to do something about that.
This shard's gonna get really full really fast.
Everybody is growing.
And
All
if
you
you're
can see at the moment is crutch.
and if you're a character, depending on how big you get, all you see is your own feet.
Yeah, all I can see is my own feet.
Let's head back to the other shard. I just want to show off that map real quick.
Do you have the exploding effect that was pretty nasty? Somewhere?
The body explosion, I think it was?
No, the one that is supposed to go forward, but it ended up going... You know, where they had dysentery?
I have no idea what
Wait,
you're talking
what?
about.
Oh, the explosion or the bleed?
The bleed.
That's right.
Which shard have you gone on over to?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. No, I never kept that.
Show it to everybody. Oh, yeah.
Which shard did you head to?
I went back to the Madness server. Do you remember what the body explosion effect was called? I know there was like meat explosion.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Seraph says this stream just keeps getting weirder and weirder.
Yeah. We've been streaming all weekend, so we're starting to get a little loopy, I think.
Just think of how we're going to be by tomorrow evening.
Oh, man. You know, actually, I think we might want to just get the Battle of Backers event started and get an early start on it. Because I know I wouldn't mind wrapping up just a little early tonight. What do you
I can't see you in. I can't see you in game. You must be hidden.
No, I'm up here. Let's see, where are you at?
I can see everyone else running around, but you're not there. Oh, there you are.
There I am. I feel so small now after staring at all those giants.
Make yourself bigger, dude.
I'm not sure if that script is enabled on here. We can use the god rabbits to get big.
The god rabbits?
Yeah, they're rabbits that when you kill them, you feel like a god.
Vorpal bunnies.
Of course. It's all clear now.
So some of the guys who might not know what this is Madness Mod. We were just having fun with the game. We did a little developer game jam and played with the modding system that we've been creating for the players. And so this is just an example of some of the absolutely crazy things you can do just with the modding system in the game. We have giant reindeer, we have fire-breathing bear, we have rabbits that make you huge when you kill them. Just all sorts of just absolutely ridiculous stuff. And we did it all in one night. And we had a blast doing it. Raging hippies, launching projectile rabbits. It's all par for the course.
Whoa.
I still think when your spell fizzles and the guard ends up killing you because you damaged yourself, I think the guard just should slash dance on your body.
Make it a special dance, not the traditional dance. Something that utilized the I just killed you.
I don't know, the Will Smith Running Man is pretty good.
What about the Egyptian?
Someone actually mentioned to add the Carlton to the game earlier.
Oh gosh.
What about the Elaine Bennis dance? How about that one?
I love the Elaine Bennis dance. Well, we actually kind of have
The
a
word.
funny Guild Wars story about the Elaine Bennis dance. Derek, do you remember, I think it was like a beta weekend or something with the first Guild Wars, we did slash dance on like the female ranger, and we ran into a developer and we were like, hey, is this the Elaine Bennis dance? And we were like, and the developer was like, oh, I'm taking off right now.
Oh, I think I remember that. He's like, whistles innocently and then leaves. Alright, I am getting the event shards set up for Battle of the Backers. I think we should just have the developers participate. What do you guys think?
That'd be fun
That
to watch.
sounds amazing.
That could be fun.
Just? What? I'm gonna be so dead.
Some of them may be in places where they can't actually load up the client, but I'm pretty sure Austin should be able to. I can. Chrissy, will you play?
Maybe, I'll think about it.
Sounds good. Amy?
I'm ready for Amy. Go, Amy.
Tiffany cheats.
I can play one man.
I think Amy's better than she thinks she is.
Oh, well, okay, I've got cheerleaders, so I'm gonna totally do this.
Amy.
Just
Amy,
for you guys.
Amy.
Just sit tight, guys, while I actually get this thing ready. Just so you guys know, the Battle of Backers mod is set up right now to auto restart. Auto start the match when enough people join. Just sit tight, and I'll actually manually join the match.
I think Derek loaded up the wrong one, so...
Just hang on 1 second. Let's see.
So, while we're getting all of this set up, does anybody in the Twitch channel have any questions for us? It looks as though that we have a few more people than we started off with this talk. Right now, we are talking with the development team, and we have some players in our Twitch channel asking questions regarding the game, and we're showcasing all the different mods and shards that are available, and what you can do.
And we're having fun showcasing.
Yes, Dusty McDee's been on all day. He's been on all day with us.
Yeah, and we're getting into like 1:30 in the morning his time.
So there's a shard called BOTB Event on Stream. Hopefully it's set up properly for everybody. Go ahead and join. If you guys are on stream and you've downloaded the client, hop onto the server and you can play with us. It supports 12 players, so let's see how many we can get on there.
Serapix is asking, what is being currently worked on right now?
So I think there's a bunch of things we're working on. We're working on the cluster technology. We're working on crafting skills. We're working on the rogue skills. I think those are the three that we're focusing on right now. And then we working on getting some assets coming down the pipe. And actually, Bruce will be showing some of the rogue stuff in a very early stage tomorrow, I believe.
There's some secret rogue stuff already in the game if you know how to do it.
I think that might be the stuff that he's going to show.
I'll just say that I've been having fun with it already, and it is enjoyable. It's got that really does have that UO feel to it, which is a good thing.
Oh, I got kicked.
I think Derek needs a nap or something over here because he keeps loading up the wrong rule set.
I was wondering about that, but I wasn't gonna ask. I was just buying my scrolls.
It's been a long weekend. We're getting it started now. It's in the right mode now, I promise.
You promise? You promise?
I promise. Go ahead and log into BOTB event on stream. And like I said, it should start up just as people are joining, but just sit tight. We're actually going to start the match once we have everybody in.
Now, do you have night and day in this version, or is this not the hardcore?
We're starting with the standard rules.
Oh, so I'll die slightly less quickly.
So we're up to 8 players on the Battle of Backers event stream channel server. So have room for a couple more. We're going to sit tight and try and fill the server. So the Battle of Backers mod was created in a couple of days. It was kind of worked on over the course of a week. And the idea was to create a mode that would allow our backers to fight to the death. And the first time we ran the event, the winner of the event actually was winning additional Kickstarter rewards, which is pretty cool.
Serafax actually asked a really good question. How exactly would housing work regards to permissions? If you put items and stuff on the floor, will anyone invited be able to pick it up and run off with it? Like stuff in a chest or something?
So the easiest way to answer that is to talk about other games that kind of have that. Like Ultima Online allows you to lock items down. So basically you're magically making it so that item is only accessible to the owner. I imagine we'd have to do something similar to that in a sense that there's a way for you to prevent people from just taking your stuff and walking away with it.
Would definitely be good, yeah.
Dusty, I got it before you did.
I got the hammer.
I got the heal scroll.
Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to play because I'll have to play as a god to start the server. You know, I could try to jump, like restart it and then switch over to Immortal really fast. I'll try to do that. Looks like we have 10 players ready to participate. That's a pretty good turnout, I think. So we're going to get started.
I've only got time for one round, too.
Yeah, it told me to hang on for the next round.
Yeah, I'm closed right now.
He's gonna restart it.
Oh, here we go.
I'm going to try and switch to Immortal before it starts.
Go, go, go.
I think you have 30 seconds.
Not hardcore, right?
These are the normal rules. Looks like I made it in.
What are the rules?
Oh, so the rules are...
There are rules?
You start out with relatively no skills and items, so there are crates scattered throughout the map. So you want to go find a crate, get yourself some gear, and then start developing your skills. You have about 4 minutes to do this before PvP is enabled. Once PvP is enabled, when you die, you're taken out of the match and you go back into spectating mode. So you don't want to die. The last man standing is the winner. After 4 minutes of PvP, sudden death will begin and everybody will be teleported to the ruins where basically we fight to the death there. Now you're not going to want to die, or you don't want to leave the ruins, otherwise you'll be in intense pain and you'll probably die pretty quickly. So stay well within the ruins once sudden death begins.
Cool,
I always
thanks.
look for the heal spell first because it's you have heal. An interesting thing about this particular mod is that we took the skill cap out, so you can actually cap out all of your skills. Side effect of that is that everybody tends to end up being kind of like a jack of all trades. So it just kind of lets you get a taste for all of the skills we currently have implemented.
Did you get a spear right off the bat?
Yeah, I found a spear.
Nice.
Yeah, you can move around before it starts and then find one of those crates right before the match begins. You start out pretty nice.
I also like trying to kill the cultists during the early pre-match part because you can get some potions. Aside from the one potion you start with, that's the only other way to get potions. Looks like Chrissy already made it to all these crates. What killed you, Austin?
Already.
A cultist killed me.
Aw, did you put yourself in defensive stance?
I always go pack stance. I like to kill things as fast as possible.
Got myself a guardian shield. I'm not gonna try and fight those cultists yet.
Do the teleporters work in Battle of the Backers?
They actually do, yep.
Oh yeah, just watched you go in one just then.
Wow, PvP is gonna start in just 1 minute. I haven't even really found any armor yet.
Found armor, but that heal scroll is very elusive.
I managed to find myself a heal scroll, some pants, shield, and a new sword.
Pants are good.
Oh, I found Derek.
So not ready to fight anybody yet.
Oh, I'm going to
Me
follow you
either.
then.
Viscera actually asked a question I've asked a couple of times, and I'm not quite sure if we actually got an answer. Is there going to be a bank system?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we'll definitely need a way for you to be able to store your items, especially if when you die they drop to the ground. I actually had thought about, I think I might have even started implementing a banker NPC, but I never really got finished with it before we started the Kickstarter campaign. So PvP is enabled now. If I run into another player, I'm gonna have to fight them. Ready or not.
Oh no, Merc got me.
Oh! And there's the cannon. 10 contestants remain. Hi,
Uh-oh.
I'm running. Oh my god.
2 are coming to me.
Ah, yes, that's good. Okay, we can go kill them together.
So, Amy, you were not the first to die.
Yes, but if I'm the second to die, then
Yes.
what are they going to say about the community team?
Austin is down.
Alright.
That's
I
2
believe
dev
you,
members
Amy.
down, no fans down.
I am
there
alive
goes our
because I
first
am
fan.
running.
I jumped him in the middle of a fight with a cultist.
I still can't
That's
find my
not very
favorite weapon.
honorable.
Oh, was honor a rule or?
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Screw honor.
So the corner arrows are disabled, right? The window border arrows?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I just saw one.
I guess when you get close enough to somebody.
Yeah, it looks really close range.
Serifix is asking if you can sell items to NPCs yet. Right now, that's just not been implemented, but it is definitely going to be something that is going to be standard.
Based on the amount of times it's been asked for, it definitely has to be in our next alpha test.
So how long do the potions last?
They last about maybe 10 seconds of heal over time.
Oh, like the stamina potion?
Yeah. So that'll be stamina regen over time for about 5-10 seconds. It'll fill your stamina bar.
Come on. I'm fighting someone, but I don't know who it is.
I was going after Bimolith, but I think he has heals, so that makes it a bit more difficult.
I have everything.
Run away!
Ah, crap.
Are you serious?
Uh-oh.
Wasn't me.
So if you're just joining us, we're doing a Battle of the Backers event for the Shards online preview weekend. This weekend is
Damn,
intended
Merc got
to
me.
showcase the game for our Kickstarter campaign. So if you enjoy what you're seeing, or you go ahead and download the game and give it a try yourself, we'll be having the servers on all day, all night, tonight and tomorrow. So get in there and give it a chance. And if you like it, give us some backing love on Kickstarter.
Get back here.
Try something. Aha! Gonna try something.
I still haven't found my favorite weapon.
Still don't have a chest blade.
Actually, I've got a question. You know how you were talking about it could go into different genres like sci-fi and various things like that? Would there be any sorts of weapons that would tie into those points, like guns or something like that, which would very much change the way the game's played?
So our creative director has kind of an idea where the gods that oversee these worlds, they're not a big fan of technology. In fact, technology scares them because they see it as kind of the destroyer of worlds. Oh wow, it's getting into sudden death. I'm going to have to answer your question in a second because it is all out 6th contestant sudden death.
I think you answered it perfectly fine as it was. That's a good reason not to have them, actually. It
But
definitely
that's
fixes
also
balance
saying,
issues as
like,
well.
when you're on the steampunk shard, we'll still have like a gun of some sort, but it would be like an old school gun, like a blunderbuss.
Yeah, the steampunk shard is one of those shards that the guards are very concerned about. It's kind of on the edge of what they consider acceptable for what we would say technological advance.
I'm getting ganged up on here.
For some reason, I want to dress up as a cowboy in this game.
I love the idea of a western shard. That would be awesome.
Now tomorrow, if you ask Bruce about that, he can go into how you can modify the weapon templates on your shard to make guns.
I evaded Bimolith in the team teleporters, and then Grunt got me.
Oh!
Maleta is down. Am I the last dev alive?
I think so.
Murg is on a rampage.
If you tame a bear or something before you get into sudden death, does the bear then get teleported to the sudden death area?
No, it won't teleport, but if you're close enough, it will chase you all the way in.
That could be a very well used tactic.
Oh, bears, please.
So to answer your question, Serifix,
Looks
yes,
like
it would
Merg's
be up
gonna
to-
take this one.
If you're running your own chart, it would be up to the gods to decide what is acceptable on that particular shard.
Surfix, that's actually a pretty commonly asked question. People worry about the ability or the thought that players who run their own servers will abuse the system. And so the answer for that is there's a couple of answers. One is, communities who run Shards will want to be fair in order to get players to come play there. If they got a bad reputation, no one's going to play there. We're also going to allow players to rate Shards. So the more popular or the more active Shards with benevolent gods and lots of live events, those will make their way to the top just based on the rating system. So if you're a player and you don't have a home server yet, you'll be able to find one that suits your playstyle by looking at the ratings and the descriptions. And then above and beyond that, we will have official Citadel servers where, we'll have very, very strict rules in regards to what the gods can and cannot do with players. So, that would be an option too, is just come play on our Shards. You won't have to worry about that at all. But I think that there's going to be plenty of reputable communities out there. We've talked with a lot of communities that are interested in running their own servers. And these communities will be running a tight ship when it comes to the gods and how fair they'll be.
Oh, definitely. And these communities, that we've been talking to, at least the ones that I've been talking to, I know for sure, are people who have been doing this for a very, very long time on their own, homegrown games, or they're on Neverwinter Night servers, on Ultima Online servers. So yeah, they definitely have a lot of experience in this. And I'm stuck in a rock ledge.
Is the game restarted?
Oh yeah, we're fully in the next match. For people who are on the stream, you can join us in the middle of a match. You'll just have to wait until the next round. So feel free to jump on the server and you'll be in spectator mode until it starts.
I'm stuck. I got spawned on a mountain range and I can't get off.
Hit the stuck button.
It didn't work.
Oh, that's not
well,
good.
If you hit stuck, you can't move. Stand still.
Yeah, no, it didn't even give me the confirmation message.
Maybe you might have to wait.
I am so I'm gonna win by default up until sudden death.
Yeah, you'll move in sudden death.
Yeah, I guess so.
Unless someone finds you before then.
I'm getting waylaid by cultists. I just wanted to look inside that crate.
Yeah, when the game restarted, I spawned right next to a bunch of cultists.
I noticed that the packs from the dead players of the last round are on the ground, so if you're like me and you had a gigantic hoard of all the items because you're a jerk, then you could go find your old pack and get all the things again.
Oh wow, you went back to the ruins?
Yeah, because I spawned right next to it.
Wow, I didn't even think of that one. I'll have to put that one down as a bug. I was wondering why I couldn't see the container I was opening. It's because I had the UI turned off. It's been such a long weekend. I've had a blast though, this has been so much fun.
Ah, found my heal scroll.
Practicing my skills on this poor innocent deer. Another thing that's interesting with the way BOTB is set up is you don't have to go and get your spells again. You keep them from the previous round.
Yeah, so I'm I'm casting Fireball on myself to try and up my defenses and my casting spell.
Oh, you can actually kill yourself and then you'll spawn over by the portal.
Oh, good point.
As long as you do it before PvP starts.
Oh, nice find.
I know this is probably very late into development, but would you think there might be a point where someone breaks the rules of the gods and brings upon technology?
Oh, I could definitely see that down the road, yeah. Like a space age for Shards Online. That would be so awesome. Yeah, all it takes is
have
some...
it as
PvP's
more powerful.
PvP's enabled.
I'm not ready yet, no!
No, Jaren, come back here so I can kill you.
Run away.
And I'm out of mana.
Shouldn't have said that.
Hey guys,
I
target.
forgot you were in the chat with me. I'm used to the. Oh, and I'm the first one out of the match. Ouch.
And I'm not even a PvP player.
Neither am I, yet I was dominating the faction section before.
That's one of the things I really like about Versus Combat System is that it's not super exclusive. You know, it is pretty easy to kind of crack it open and get into.
But it is still very in depth to a certain point.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, especially I love the combat stances. They add so much to the game. Especially when you get a different ability based on your stance. I mean, to be able to, one of the things I love to do is switch. I'm gonna stalk Dermot as a ghost.
Damn, there goes me.
What I was saying is, one of the fun things to do is when someone launches a fireball at you, if you quickly switch a defensive stance and use the defend ability, you'll block it almost 100% of the time.
Looking around right now.
I'm haunting you, Dermot.
You see that?
That would be a great mod too. Everyone you killed, their ghost had to follow you around for the rest of the match.
Ooh.
For a permadeath server. Haunted forever.
You can't use the teleports as a ghost.
No, that's a bug. The teleports can't see you.
No, that's working as intended. You can't just teleport your ghost self around, freeloader.
That's not very nice. That's ghostist.
Ghostist.
Finding plenty of bears.
I bet you wouldn't say that if I was a pair of pants.
Surfix, sounds like you need to read the lore, or at least be here when I talk with Draconi, our creative director, tomorrow.
Oh,
do you know what time that is, Chrissy?
4 p.m. tomorrow.
4 p.m. tomorrow. I promise him talk very detailed about all the different gods. The gods in Shards Online are very much like the Greek gods. They all have their own agendas, and they all have their own things going on. I love it. I mean, I love reading his stories.
Damn it, that's 4 a.m. for me. I'm not going to be able to watch that.
We're going to do our best to pull out highlights from the entire weekend and make a couple videos.
That'll be good.
I hope to do the same from all my streaming and recordings, but I need to get a editor first.
Highlighting is a lot of work because you just have to go through hours and hours of stream.
That was bad.
And we
Dermot's in
appreciate
trouble.
every time you do it.
I think I healed him, not
Oh
me.
my god!
Sudden death.
Oh, what?
I need to make the spectators get teleported to sudden death because otherwise you gotta walk all the way over there.
I was already there.
Oh no, did BMO walk out of the ruins?
I walked
I'm
into the
doomed.
teleporter as sudden death happened, so I ended up in the town. And then I died.
Whoa, that's a crazy bug. That's just really unfortunate timing.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I'm not sure who's on my... Oh, okay.
Well, I
never
was
mind.
helping you kill Jaren because I couldn't take him down. He was in full armor.
Well, I had the air on top of me as well.
So for those of you watching on the stream, you're welcome to join us in Battle of the Back. Download is very easy. It's only 200 megs and there's no installer. So go in there, get the game, get it installed, and come play with us.
What do we have left?
Jaren says he's sure he lightninged himself, and
I
yeah, I
left.
think he did too.
It's just us?
Merg.
Merg.
Oh, let's kill Merg.
Get Merg. Get Merg.
Yeah, he was stomping all over me before sudden death kicked in.
Oh, the community team has teamed up.
Against the community.
Merg's trying to kill.
Ironic.
What kind of community team do we have? They're killing our community.
You didn't say you needed them alive.
As long as they leave
Oh my
some...
god, let's kill this bear.
Merc casting from the other side of the wall. There is line of sight code in the game. I'm not sure how it allowed that to go through. Well, both of you two are in trouble.
Go on, work together.
Run away!
Yeah.
Chrissy's just healing the full over here. Would you guys just kill him already? You're just playing with him.
Stuck bug. Here's where I die.
Uh-oh. Chrissy,
Uh-oh.
save
I'm
her!
stuck.
Save her!
Help her.
Oh no.
There was no salvation for you.
Oh.
I got the stuck bug.
Oh damn.
Those lightnings are
Yeah.
nasty.
Yes.
That's
If you've
not
been
Slow, but
casting
they
a,
pack a punch.
if you've been casting a lot during the match, I mean, you can get your spell casting up to almost 50, almost max.
I am kind of proud of how long I lasted, considering I spent the entire time that you guys were gearing up and the PvP section stuck on the side of a mountain. So I have just my starting gear and the spells I had last time.
That's not bad.
You know what we need is knockback ability so you can knock somebody out of the ruins.
Shield
Still
bash
love
should do
using
that.
Maul.
Yeah, shield bash would be good for that.
All we
Need a
would
back-
need is to merge the Madness mod with Battle of the Backers, and then
That's what
you'd
I was
have
gonna
it.
say. We need
Super rapid
we
fire.
need a Battle of the Backers mod with only the exploding rabbits.
That might have to be our next event. Oh, Merc! Whoa.
Go on.
Yeah, don't go out there.
Lightning, lightning. Teleport,
Nice
clever.
move. Oh, man. You know, I actually put a duration on sudden death, too, so eventually you'll start taking damage.
You're running out of time. Kill, kill.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Wow!
The
Oh, we have to call that a draw. I mean, that is as close to a draw as you can get.
So we tied.
that was definitely a tie.
Call it a draw.
I hate to pull this, but my minions are way up past their bedtime, and I need to go get them in bed.
Okay, we'll be here.
I'm watching the stream right now.
Just watch your killer Jello. Definitely a draw.
Well, we have 12 players online, so I'm going to keep playing as long as we have players, because we're having fun. The match has begun. Go, go, go. We could also turn on instant sudden death mode, which is really interesting, because everyone is in a full suit of armor and weapons and full skills, and it just launches you right into the ruins.
I loved that when we played. That was so much fun.
It's like instant gratification.
It's a lot more difficult than regular sudden death because you have normally during Battle of the Backers you'll get used to your spells and how you're playing, but in this you go straight to it and then you've got no mess around with it. You just have to go straight in and play.
Yeah, there's
Yep.
no chance to get your bearings.
I hate it when the crate despawns right in front of you. You're like right about to grab it, and it's like, oh, bye-bye.
Yeah, I spend the prep time before the match begins looking for one, and then they disappear right when the match begins.
Just got killed by a bear.
Something's
At
fireballing
least we
me.
let
There
you
he is.
respawn during the PvE. It would be brutal if you got taken out of the match if you died during PvE. I just survived with 0 hit points. Apparently 0 hit points is still living.
Yeah, that happened to me during a fight. I went to 0, but I healed just as it went to 0.
You're only mostly dead.
Dead at neg 1, then I guess.
I think I have it on a video somewhere.
I was actually surprised. I set a Battle of the Backer so it would automatically start, so you wouldn't need a god to start the round. So I thought people would play it during the preview weekend, but I mean, I guess no one's really gotten a chance to play the default rules, so everyone's seen more interest in going there.
No, we did have a couple people that stayed for a long time on the hardcore practice mode. They've really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's really cool. And the hardcore mode I think it's just too hardcore. I think it needs a little bit of tweaking because you die of hunger so easy.
I think Dusty just looted you.
Yeah.
I don't think I had anything useful.
No, you didn't. I thought you had a hammer, but you don't.
Sometimes in the crates you can find improved scrolls, and those actually give you better versions of the spell than the standard one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Anybody's found one. Yeah, and if you already have that spell and you memorize an improved scroll, it'll just replace the standard one with your improved version. 60 seconds. I don't have anything.
Well, this wasn't a good idea. Just found a cultist mage, and right as it said 60 seconds till PvP.
Yeah, the last thing you want to be is hurt when sudden death starts. You definitely want full health. Where is the gear? Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Merg is loading up a spell because he knows that PvP is right about to start. Don't do it, Merg, don't do it. He is so ready to launch a lightning on me. Okay, I'm gonna have to get ready for it.
Damn, I healed the bear instead of myself.
I've done that so many times.
I did that to Merg in the last one. Healed him.
I've gotten accustomed to using G and T, which is the target system. It's so much easier.
Yeah, I cast a spell and then I just spam Y. You have to make sure that they're actually combat targeted before you can use Y. So T will just do the last target. What I plan on doing is making a modifier so that if you have someone targeted, you can hold like control and click the spell and it'll just auto cast on him instead of having to
Damn,
assign the
I'm
target
out.
after this. I am struggling over here. Merg's got my number.
He's very good.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm glad he joined the Earth team with me.
What did you guys think of the PvP minigame last night? I think it definitely lacks a reward or an actual reason, some kind of win condition.
Do you mean like the different elements fighting each other?
Right.
I mean, I think it's a good start.
Agreed.
It's like any factions. But what I did notice is you can actually take over the shrines.
Yeah, I mean, the system does have a long way to go, like you said. Right now, it's just in its very early stages. It really was just a way to get people to fight each other.
Even though there's not much to do, I really enjoy playing in there. It's just the challenge of being able to get up to a point where you can take over the place and then try and hold it down for as long as you can. It's just so much fun, as it is.
Yeah, I had a blast too. How did Merg get teleport? You're not supposed to get teleport on this rule set.
He's cheating.
Too.
Hacks!
Are the scrolls on the cultists?
No, they're in the chests.
Maybe. Oh. I
The
have
boxes.
Jaren and Bubba jumping on me here. Oh no!
I think all things considered, what you guys have done for this weekend has been really good. I think the only thing that could have made it better is if you'd done it earlier on in the campaign.
Yeah, honestly, I think it was one of those things where you're always kind of afraid, like, the game's not really ready for this. Like, it really, like, we spent most of our time in game development in AAA studios. A AAA studio, like, Electronic Arts would never open up a game for anybody to play at this stage, and so we're kind of have that kind of mentality just drilled into our brains. And as we got closer to the end of the campaign, and we just said, hey, what have we got to lose to let everyone try it? I feel like, with the indie revolution, it's becoming a little more popular for people to see games in raw and unfinished states. It's just kind of, the game development process has become more transparent, and I definitely think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like you said, you get all the big developers that just hide away and just show you little snippets here and there. But letting gamers in, it also helps you guys. You know what's working and what's not. Right? You'd save you going back the way and releasing something that people really don't like. You'll know what they don't like before you get the chance to actually implement something fully.
Right. No, it's definitely good to have players involved at all stages.
It is a very touchy subject, though, stuff like early access on Steam, for example, because there are a lot of games or independent developers, even AAA developers that are doing it now, that don't do it correctly, and it just ruins the experience.
Oh.
So...
I think Jaren suicided and took me out with him, running out of the ruins.
I think so. Yeah, we have a couple of new players that didn't know about the ruins in sudden death. I guess you only have to learn once, right?
Yeah, it should only take once.
Beamelith is trying the strategy of not wearing any armor, because I think Bruce actually brought that up in one of his talks, that he wanted being naked to be a viable option. I think he's crazy when it comes to that.
I didn't have any good stuff, so it was... What? Why did I die? Oh, I
You
won.
were just
Okay, whatever.
outside of the ruins, but you won because Bubba disconnected. Oh, wait. Merg died. I don't know what happened there.
Whatever. No, I just didn't have any pants on, because all the pants that I got that time were not any special effects, and I have no idea if just having pants on does anything. So I was like, well, I might as well let the mana regen from not having pants.
I'm stuck on the side of a mountain.
My backpack isn't working.
So Serafix is asking what I think and what we think of early access. And honestly, I think early access is a great thing for certain studios. Indie studios, and I'm learning as Citadel Studios develops, it's extremely difficult to get funding. And the reason why is because usually, if you're an indie studio, you have a very innovative and kind of new idea, right? Like Shards Online is something that you wouldn't really see coming out of a game studio with, multi-million-dollar budgets. So we're struggling with this concept of, like, how do we raise the money to get this game made? And so, things like early access are a great way to make people a part of the development process, and they can help us actually, make development possible. So my personal opinion is I think that early access is a great thing. When it's used properly. If you have a studio that has a $5 million budget, you don't need early access.
I think I got stuck on the same mountains as Mel did, and I've just walked into a mist, walked around the mountains and into a big mist.
Nice. Well, I would suicide if I were you.
Yeah, I'm thinking that.
So I actually found an improved lightning scroll. It has, wait a second, it's not that improved. It's -1 bonus spell damage, but -0.1 second bonus casting speed. I'd like to ask you guys on the stream what your thoughts are about Unity Asset Store assets. Are you guys familiar with what that is?
I am, yeah. I've worked with Unity a bit, so I know what they are.
So Unity Asset Store assets there are artists out there that make asset bundles essentially, and they put them up on the store for developers to use in their games. And so, we had struggled with this concept of, we could really add a lot of assets to our game, especially for custom rule sets, if we just go out there and buy a bunch of these assets. The challenge is that what it ends up doing is making your game look a little, trying to say what the right word is, cobbled together, like because all of these art assets are created with different artists and different art styles, it can be very hard to have a very cohesive style if you're leveraging a lot of those assets. And art direction and art style is very important for like a fully polished AAA game. But when you think about the kind of the spirit of Shards and the spirit of being able to have lots of these custom rule sets and crazy stuff going on, maybe it does make sense for us to say, just go ahead and say, what, maybe these assets can bring something to the table. And what do you guys think about that?
I honestly think the look of the game would need to be a unique thing. So unless you find something that's very close to the art asset of Shards, I wouldn't choose any of the art assets really.
One example of an asset store asset is in the Madness mod when you explode and the kind of guts fly everywhere. We got that on the asset store, and that's something that we would never really put into our core rule set because we need that consistent art style with the core rule set. But when you talk about you're making a mod, maybe it makes sense to kind of play around with some of these other assets that don't necessarily 100% match the style.
For those, I would say they definitely fit. But definitely for the actual default rules and official servers, they wouldn't match.
Yeah, it's an interesting take. Because one of the things that we're thinking about as we address the scope of the project is we look at trying to leverage the what we really have. And what we have is a really powerful engine, and an engine that's pretty close to being able to be opened up to the players to mod. But one of our challenges is a combination of two things. It's the assets, right? So what you see here is just about all of the assets that we have for this game. And then the other challenge is the maps themselves, building the maps. And so we had considered, trying to open the game up for players to start playing around with the modding and making their own rule sets well before we even have our first real official map. Like imagine Celador or Terminus. Maybe we just get our alpha phase, get us into alpha without a lot of the maps that we had originally planned. It's a tough balance, right? Because you want to make sure that the modders have enough content for them to work with. But then at the same time, you also want to get it into their hands as early as possible so they can get familiar with the system and start making some really cool stuff.
I have to say, even though it's still in a pre-alpha access, I've already clocked in 20 plus hours playing the game, and there's not a lot for you to do really. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are a lot of people like me that would definitely spend that much time just doing PvP in its current state. So working on the mod support would definitely benefit normal players as well, because a lot of them would still play it.
Yeah, I think so. I would like to have at least one dungeon, one interior. Wow. Was PvP... Oh my god, I didn't even realize PvP had started already.
People are dying hand and foot.
I think people can be surprised just how early a state a game can be, as long as it's playable in some fashion, that people will still enjoy their time in it. I remember the first test release for Shroud of the Avatar was basically just a town with a few chests and the ability to claim one of the houses and decorate a house, and people loved it. Now, granted, it's gone a long past that, but that was the first run of that one. This one, you've got an actual advancement that you can work with. So there is a lot due already in Shards. So Dusty's right. You can put a lot of hours in just the state of the game as it is now.
Well, what excites me about it, even with just this one simple test map, is that you almost have infinite replayability if you have a good community of modders. Because if you have modders coming up with new and interesting things to do with that map, like, here's an example. If you go and look at Rust, right? I don't know, how many of you guys have seen Rust or played it?
I've never been a big fan of those kind of games, but I know what you're talking about.
Well, so the point with Rust is that there's very little assets. I mean, like, they have one map, it's very woodsy, there's a little bit of mountains and stuff, but really it's very limited, you know? But yet they've made this game that kind of has, you know, for the people who enjoy it, almost infinite replayability just because of the dynamic sandboxy content. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking here is by opening it up to modders and allowing them to start to sink their teeth into the custom rule sets, they may be able to create some really interesting game modes. Like, take for example my little bunny stomp mod that I made. I did that in one night. If I had really spent time and worked on it and added combos and power-ups and all kinds of awesome stuff, I mean, that could be a really fun game mode in itself, even though it has nothing to do with the final game of Shards. It could be something that players could enjoy and really have fun with. And Battle of the Backers as well, you know. Battle of the Backers right now... Oh, Dermot, what did you do?
That apparently was outside the ruins.
So, yeah, what I was saying is that Battle of the Backers could be, you know, if more time was spent on it and it was improved on, I think it could make for a really interesting and fun replayable game. I think there's a little bit of tweaking to the combat system that needs to be done, and I think the game needs to force you to specialize. Right now everybody's kind of a jack of all trades, which is fun for now, you know, but that gets old really fast.
Traitor Murg, we're Earth team together.
I also think if you added teams to Battle of the Backers, that would add a really awesome element to it.
Another thing for giving out mod support during its alpha stage would be that you'd also be able to figure out how to fix a lot of bugs with the mod support itself, because there'd be a lot of bugs in its early stages as well, let alone the actual game.
Yeah, our plan for modding is kind of a it's kind of crazy, because we're basically just going to kind of give you guys the gameplay scripts. And, you know, when you do that, you run the risk of somebody setting up an emulator. You know, there's a lot of emulator servers out there for other games. They could make an emulator for Shards. But really what we have to do is we have to rely on being able to create better content than the people who are stealing from us, and also making sure that the people who are a part of Shards feel like they're part of the team, and so, you know, it's almost like a little bit of a fan loyalty there.
I think that's where some have failed to combat, you know, emulators where they've not actually wanted emulators or free Shards for is you tend to find the people who are running these other servers of official games put a lot more, probably not a lot more work, but they seem to be coming out with better quality stuff, and I don't know why that is. You'd be in a better position to explain that probably. But you know, you've got like free UO Shards that just look absolutely beautiful, and people are screaming out for high resolution art from places from like UO, and doesn't seem to be happening.
Well, there's a really easy answer to that, and it's basically based on numbers, because you have one dev team, which is 5 to 10 people for an older game. You know, I'm not sure exactly how big the UO team is right now, but you know, it's a much smaller group. When you talk about the people that are working on free Shards, you're talking about people in the hundreds. So the chances of, you know, a couple of people working on a free Shard coming up with something better than the dev team are higher just because they're winning by numbers. And you know, that's kind of the whole, like, you know, all these companies out there trying to make apps that are going to make them a couple $1 million on the App Store. It's the same thing. You know, there's 1,000 companies out there. One of them is going to make the right app. So you get that kind of thing with emulators. And so the advantage with us is we encourage our players to do that in our world, right? Because we can make, you know, they can make their own servers and their own rule sets right within the confines of our systems. We don't have to, you know, they don't have to leave that in order to create their own content. So hopefully that's the special sauce that makes us different. That'll keep the emulators, people who would normally do that sort of thing, part of the system and part of Citadel Studio.
I think the UO team is at 7 people right now, and they are reportedly working on high resolution, but who knows when that's actually going to get done.
Well, I know that if there's anybody out there that knows what the UO team want, what the UO players want, it's probably Bonnie, and I know that she does her best. Bonnie Armstrong is the current producer for Ultima Online, and
also known as Masana.
Masana, yeah, and she knows UO better than anyone I know. So, but I know they're trying, but it's tough. It is tough.
Well, we're hoping that the move to the Broadsword studio will help them out.
Yeah, I visited the Broadsword studio a few times, and they're really kind of reinvigorated by the sort of startup mentality that they've got going over there. And Rob Denton heading it up, being the founder of Mythic, one of the creators of Dark Age of Camelot. And you're talking about one of the kind of visionaries for the game industry as a whole, and that's a pretty awesome person to be leading things up over there.
Just put me over in the Shrines area, the PV area. It's usually been spawning in the PVM area for these.
Am I the only one having trouble finding chess pieces?
I found one.
To answer your question, I thought you were able to create your own shard and host it yourself, though, and the answer is yes.
Well, yeah, so the way the subscription works is the subscription is only for access to Citadel clusters. It's going to be cheap. We're thinking $8 to $10. We haven't committed on a price, but it's definitely going to be less than a MMO subscription. That's just to play on our servers where we have live events and customer support. This is, if you have a problem with another player, we'll investigate in action appropriately, that kind of stuff. The stuff you expect in an MMO. It costs money, and that's why we have a subscription for that. But you can play on community servers for free. You buy the game once. Right now, if you get in if you get in as a backer for $20, you get a digital copy of the game. You never have to pay another dime. You can play on community servers. There'll be large guilds running their own servers, other communities, gaming communities running their own servers. Prowess, the answer to your question, can you host a community server for free? The answer is you can host a single shard for free. What we will charge for is the ability to connect shards together. So that's the cluster system, and that's the ability to actually have several shards connected together. And it'll be cheap. It really won't cost that much. Again, we're thinking
PvP
that,
started.
The cost of a community cluster would be just enough to cover the server costs. We're not going to try and make money off of it. So I'm thinking, it's going to be $5-10 a month. I can't say because we haven't really figured out what those costs are, but it's going to be really low.
Yeah, we haven't looked at hosting options or anything like that. Right now, all of our shards for this weekend are actually on the cloud, and this is just one avenue that we're kind of experimenting with because the cloud is the next step in hosting.
It's a wonderful world where servers appear and disappear.
They do not. I work in a data center.
Well, they appear to appear and disappear.
All I can say is that the servers are pretty much there.
I think this might be my last round, guys. I am pretty wiped out. You guys can stay here and keep playing rounds of Battle of the Backers all night if you want. The system is set up to automatically start the round, so feel free to stick around. If you get a bad spawn point, you're supposed to be able to use the stuck command, although it seemed like Maleta was having trouble with it.
Yeah, I had trouble as well.
It was not even telling me to stand still for 15 seconds and not get hit.
Well, I guess if you learn spells, you'll be able to cast on yourself and kill yourself.
That's what I had to do.
So something that I wanted to kind of talk to Serafix about, that he's talking about website needing funding and to be able to do it kind of on the cheap. There are guilds out there that everyone collectively donates to their voice chat. That's one example. Some people can't have enough bandwidth to be able to host things out of their house as well. So depending on the equipment you have in your home and your bandwidth with your internet provider, you could actually host something from your house.
Right. The only thing you would need from us is the cluster server that connects all the servers together. And, that's when we say this is the first player-run MMO. That's the special sauce right there, is the cluster, where you can connect all these shards together. I mean, you can run a server that supports 1,000 players, right? Why not? That's maybe, 50 shards or whatever, depending on the size of the shards. It's really not that crazy to think about a community running their own 1,000-player server. I'm excited about that. I know that's going to happen. Dermot, were you taking advantage of one of our newer players?
Maybe.
I was saying in chat, I came to the computer again just to see Merg be the victor again. I was like, dude, you gotta let someone else win.
It's scary how good some of our players have gotten at this game.
We're gonna have to put a rank system into the pre-alpha, so you can't, you hit above rank 6 and you can't play with the new players.
What about Smurfs? Smurfs is the term that they use in League of Legends and other MOBAs for people who make new accounts to wreck new players.
Oh, I'm used to it. I'm used to it in the UO term for counselors. For the blue robes.
I'm used to twinks. It's kind of the same, just a little different.
Would it be interesting if we ran like a contest once we launched the game, like the first community server to support 1,000 players or something? I'm trying to find that teleport scroll. I think he got it from... I know where he got it from. He killed an archmage. That's the only thing in the game that drops teleport scrolls.
Rest in peace, Dusty.
Yeah, thanks.
You said peace is wrong.
So one of the ideas we had for a PvE game, we're talking about how, like, right now Battle of the Backers is very PvP oriented. We want to do a co-op zombie game, where maybe like the cultists ate some bad food or something and they're all zombified, and they attack the farm in waves and you have to fight them off and they get harder every time.
And
that could be cool.
Plants down to fight them off.
Well, yeah, so we just taking it to the next logical step, which is we were going to have... Sorry, guys, someone's setting off fireworks in the neighborhood. The next logical step, which is the zombies only come at night, and during the day you have to go out and get resources to build kind of like tower defense like items. So you can go out, get stone and wood, and then you build like fences and those sorts of things. Oh boy, sudden death.
Man, if I could play like Minecraft in here, I would be so happy.
I'm following you, Supreme.
So I kind of want to answer Aerosmith's question on what tech specs are we talking about for those kinds of servers. Right now we don't have anything permanently outlined because we haven't gone into testing for that yet.
I can tell you what I'm thinking, and honestly, the servers should be able to run on very low, minimal spec hardware. Right now, because we haven't optimized, we're running on A3 cloud instances. If you're that technical, you could know what that is. A3 Azer cloud instances. But we expect to be able to run on A1s with no problem. Man, the plate chest piece really hurts your mana regen, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I always go full leather.
Yeah, I try to find the leather. doing this.
It does make you quite a bit tankier, but I don't know if it's worth it. I was trying to get to enough rest mode. Merg's gonna win again.
We need to ban him from the server.
We're very community-minded here.
Except Mercs.
Yes.
So I literally just dropped my chest on the ground so I could get some mana regen.
This is a very, very interesting battle right now.
I think we all have to give Murgish props on all of this.
So, Kinky, just to answer your question, how do I get this and do you have to back? No, the answer is no, you don't have to back. And Supreme will go ahead and drop the link shortly after
I finish killing Murg.
after he kills. Oh, we got Maleda. She's going to.
Sorry, I'm multitasking, but
we will get a link out there shortly.
Can I ask, what time are the servers being switched off tomorrow?
Probably in the evening time on Sunday.
So I should be able to play right up until late my time.
Yeah. We're wrapping up the stream, I think around 7 o'clock tomorrow.
7 p.m. our time, so that would be...
midnight.
Yeah. And don't forget, around 5 or 6 p.m. tomorrow, we're going to be doing a special European a Q&A session during the day, so
that you don't have to stay up until 2 in the morning.
Is that... Oh my god, look at the time.
Dude, you just understand how close I was to killing him.
Oh, and he dances on your corpse. That's just, wow.
Oh,
how disrespectful.
Oh, man. I think maybe I should just step down as CEO of Citadel Studios and hand it over to Murg. Oh my god. You know what? I will play another round because I am determined to get him, but I gotta go to the bathroom. I will be right back.
So you're gonna... Oh, you're skipping out on this round?
This is where he says he's gone to the toilet, but he's just going to change to God mode.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. He's going to log in as not Supreme God.
And equipped like glasses with a big nose and mustache equipped.
And a pair of pants.
No pants, no pants. They'll know it's Supreme.
Oh, that's nice.
I actually left the server because I wanted to stay a spectator, because I don't know if there's actually a command for me to stay spectator yet.
There's a god command where we can, when we're logged in as a god character, you can bounce from character to character that's actually in the game. And that was something that Supreme had put in for all of the streaming events that we've done. To have a spectator cam.
I have to wait till PvP is enabled for me to become a spectator, don't I?
Alright, I'm back. For people that are just joining us, you can download and play this game all weekend for free. We're doing this to raise awareness for our Kickstarter campaign. So, if you like what you see, if you're enjoying playing this weekend, go ahead and back us. Keep in mind, this is a super early stage of development. This is normally not something that people would, or developers would let players into, but we're crazy, and we said, hey, why not? So, have fun this weekend, and then back us.
We're crazy!
You might be crazy, but it's definitely something you need to be proud of.
I've said that pitch so many times this weekend. I try to say it differently every time.
So PvP wasn't enabled
Act
yet,
now.
and I saw Merg fighting a bear, so I healed the bear and it killed him for me, and then I ran away.
Oh my god, that is brilliant.
I have to say, Merc. Ha ha ha.
See, this is no longer Battle of the Backers. This is Take Down Merg.
No, I just thought it was funny. I would do it to anybody. I don't care.
Yeah, guys, I don't think we can let Merg win this match, guys. We really need to do something about that.
Okay, we need to
Everyone's
form
going
a
to team
raid.
up against Merg.
Who's the healer?
That's you, Maleda.
I'm not logged in for this.
I can't believe it's 2:30 in the morning.
I think you should put Bjorn into Battle of the Backers, Maleda.
Oh my gosh. If we had like if he could use a controller for this, he could probably do it.
I bet he could. He'd probably beat all our butts. How old is Bjorn?
He'll be 5 in October.
It's the same as my son.
Smart 5-year-old.
Too smart sometimes.
And not to say that your older one isn't smart too, but just as young as he is and how intelligent he is, it's just scary.
Oh yeah.
That's the same
I
with
love
my
how
kids.
They can visually get these concepts.
Every time I see him, he asks me when I'm going to finish making Minecraft. Is it 2 or 3?
Yeah, well, yeah, Minecraft 2 they want. They'll also talk to you about Portal 3 if you want. Portal was the first one they really got into. My oldest started playing when he was 3. And like when he started kindergarten or he started preschool, his teacher was telling me he's got this amazing sense of spatial orientation and basic physics, and I was like,
That is something you need to be proud of.
Games rot your brain.
I know, right? Well, he has a developmental delay, and he had a speech delay. He didn't start speaking until he was about 4.5. And we used video games to get him over a lot of that.
I actually have autism. For me, it was a lot like that as well. Video games really helped me change.
To be honest, though, that I've met Bjorn like 2 or 3 times now, I would have never guessed that he was like impaired in any way.
Rozzy, not Bjorn.
Oh, Rozzy is. Yeah, him too.
no,
Though
my
he
oldest
doesn't
one.
seem impaired either. Not at all.
That's the magic of some of these things that can really help with a lot of development. You really never know what their past life was that they actually had these problems. Video games help.
I see an Archmage. I'm gonna see if I can get that teleport spell. I was sitting here letting everyone beat on me. I thought I had him targeted. When you've been streaming for going on 9 hours, you start to lose sense of reality. And there's no way I'm killing the Archmage considering I just... Oh, PvP started already? Jeez, that happened last time too.
Kiting.
I died to an NPC during the PvP phase. Like a noob.
My
One of the
bar
things that
insists on not dying.
I
He
probably
just
should
runs.
mention more often is, I'm not sure if people realize this, but if for some reason a Kickstarter campaign does not succeed, you do not lose, like you're not charged any money. So I feel like there are some people that kind of have that misconception and they're like, well, I don't want to do that because then I'm going to lose money. It's an all or nothing campaign, so if we don't raise the 320, no, there's no skin off your back. So just go ahead and back us. I think you should.
I was actually saying earlier that I was actually planning on entering the lottery, winning money, and pledging it all to the Kickstarter.
Well, that's a great plan.
Very solid. We definitely appreciate that.
As long as you buy like 1 million tickets.
I think that would possibly, a lot of the time, cost more than the prize.
Especially if you buy 1 million tickets.
Looks like we have some new people joining the stream. I'll let you guys know that this is the Shards Online preview weekend. The game is open and available for anybody to play. It's a very early development phase kind of build where it's not quite ready for players, but we're putting it out there so everyone can have fun with it and see how awesome it is and come back us on Kickstarter. Now this little preview build that you're seeing is just a glimpse, a tiny little snippet of what Shards Online will be. And you can get a much better idea of that by going to either our YouTube channel or to the Kickstarter page. The Kickstarter page has a ton of really juicy tidbits about exactly what the final game will be. When you talk about player housing and taming and all sorts of awesome crafting and dynamic resource gathering, and oh man, it's going to be fantastic.
Merg's still alive. Gang up.
Where is Merg? Where is he? There he is. I'm on him.
Jared, the answer there is we will be continuing development, although it's to be determined and what sort of it's kind of hard to say. We're basically kind of got to enter like an introspective phase. Whether the Kickstarter campaign succeeds or not, we're going to get into a planning phase and decide what the future holds, and then we'll let everybody know. Unfortunately, the KS rewards will not continue beyond the campaign unless we do decide to do something on our own page, but just stay tuned for that. We'll make sure that there's a product page set up for Shards Online as the campaign ends, and everybody can go there. We already have forums set up, so feel free to head over there and join the discussion. And we'll continue to do play tests as well post Kickstarter for our fans.
I had -3 health there.
You guys really need to team up and take Merg out. No more of this one at a time.
The teleport sucks.
Hey,
I have to say, no matter what,
got the closest though.
no matter what anime or TV show you watch, they always go, let's team up and take them down. They attack once after the other.
Yeah. Now he's getting ganged up on. This is what I like to see. Oh,
You're
there
talking
he
about
goes,
the community
taking
team going
advantage
for
of that.
blood.
There's a question in the chat. You should do a similar system, like to Shroud, and have the ability to donate directly from your own site.
So we have considered something like that. The danger with going with a system like that is that you don't have any guarantee that you'll raise the money you need to deliver on your promises. So you could end up collecting money from your fans and then not delivering on it. And that's something that we will never do at Citadel Studios is promise something that we can't deliver. Now, Super Noctis has an interesting strategy there with just go ahead and buy access to the game right away. And that is something that we're considering, is just allow you to just buy access to the game directly.
That would be similar to early access on Steam.
Something like that, yeah.
It's definitely something I would do.
I feel
access.
The game needs a bit more work before it's really ready for players. You know, this preview weekend is just a kind of a tease, but in order to have the game up and running and keeping players engaged and enjoying it, it's going to need more.
And not restarting the servers every 2 hours.
Yeah. And not wiping the servers once a day.
That kind of frustrated me, actually.
I understand that it's frustrating, and obviously, it's one of those things that we're going to be trying to fix as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's all good. Pre-alpha makes sense.
These are all things that you learn as that's why pre-alphas. It's all invaluable, as we were saying before.
Oh, I mean, we've collected so much feedback from this weekend. I mean, we have a huge list of stuff that once we close up this campaign, we know exactly what our priorities are. Selling to merchants being one of them.
That's been a constant question.
Oh yeah, and then being able to pick up items off the ground that are small, because that's just really annoying. Oh my god.
Come on, Merg, seriously, give us...
Yeah, I'm going to bow out of the game, because I'm getting a bit blurry-eyed.
Oh, that's a good question from Visra. If Kickstarter fails, will Citadel forums be the official spot to stay up to date?
Definitely. I think that's all of our news will be posted there. The way we've been doing it is we've been posting a blog post on citadelstudios.net, and then we've been linking it in the Shards forums for discussion. So we'll probably. What do you think, Amy? Is that probably what we'll keep up with?
Oh, that's things I want to talk to you about because I want to have some plans in place here, this week. But I think we could definitely, safely say that the forums are going to be the spot to come to for news for at least the in between.
Yeah, for sure. And the product page is something that
Right.
we
Well,
have in the
that's
works that
me.
we fully expect
I'm
it
a
to
bit
be
bleary-eyed, so I'm gonna
up
stop the
before
stream now.
campaign ends. And
See ya.
our old product page